Monday, July 6th is the date. Look, this is a fun day in general. First, the start of July. Hope the month's going well. Hope June closed extremely well for everyone. I know, obviously, it's still absolutely crazy time in the world. Today is a little special for me and my wife. Today is 13 years of blessed bliss, or I don't know how they say that, but I am excited that I've been married this long because without my wife, it's no good. Doesn't look right. It doesn't matter. I'm not the guy I am today without my wife. So my love, thank you so much. You're the best. But that brings me to a really big ties in. I want to talk to you today about strategy. And you gotta have a killer strategy. You want to stay married. I started dating this woman when I turned 22 years old. I dated her 17 years. So I had to have a strategy to keep things together, right? So when I look at it from a business perspective, one of the things that I've learned via the pandemic is that a lot of dealers and people don't have strategies. And I don't mean strategies for a pandemic. Okay, it's not what I'm talking about. It's hopefully a rarity in our lives. But I mean month to month. And even more so, having it be an overall branding of your dealership, an ongoing messaging that exists as a part of your strategy. So if you're someone right now spending money on digital marketing, I ask you this: does your email match your Facebook? If you're buying Google ads, does it match your video? If you're doing pre-roll or OTT, do all of those things within the circle, do they all speak to one another and tie it together? For most of you, you're using separate vendors for all of those hands or fingers on the hand. So you're all having to use separate guy for all of those, probably not tying it together. Now, shameless plug, that's what we do for a living. So our job really has ramped up recently because people are feeling lost without a strategy. And it's not that difficult if you can get everyone to be pulling on the rope the same way. But it's not just, I buy this media, I buy that media, I buy it this day, I buy it that day. It's not what it is. It's about creative messaging that has to take place in a given month. Now, I've got dealers who do it weekly. I've got owners who give the content for those weekly, emails or display, whatever it is. The owner is the creative mind behind it, right? Think about that. So it's about being creative. Yes, having a message, but then where do we put the message, and then how does the message get relayed? What I mean by that is when you send out an email blast and you say, here is a deal on a Chevy Equinox. This is unbelievable. Click here for inventory and deal. And you click there, and that click takes you to the homepage, right? That is a disaster of marketing. We've lost the flow. But let's assume that maybe we had the opportunity to regain that customer at another point. But then when they came in, they said, hey, did you hear about the lease deal? Not just the cash deal, but now it's the lease deal. And then you layer on the finance deal. But the problem is that you've kept consistent the vehicle, but you haven't kept consistent the messaging. So to me, that represents an issue, because if it is that we are trying to move leases, and that is our decided factor, then that is what we should be pushing across the board. If it is finance rate, then it is here. Now, within your strategy, of course, you could have sub-strategies that go after those certain things. But then in that case, keep it more, because most cases it is broad, tie together multiple vehicles to bring in a larger audience. If you're trying to pin down a specific buyer, just make sure that your strategy, first of all, a specific buyer is tough gets now, because loyalty is what it is. But within your strategy, just make sure that you're paying attention to the messaging and having it be the same across all platforms. Inside of it, I think you need to have, first of all, and most importantly, a very strong SEO strategy. There are plenty of wonderful people out there doing it. If any of you need a recommendation, I'm happy to provide it. But SEO is the first place I would start to just have my strategy set up. From there, I would begin to look at video. Very, very heavy video. I've mentioned them before. I have a great client down in the Carolinas who just is hardcore about video. Between OTT and pre-roll, the guy does a ton of it, and he's seeing unbelievable results. 25, 35, 40,000 people in a given month seeing eyeballs on his messages for $1,000. That's not something you can capture anywhere else. But the difference is that message he's talking about shows up in the paid search ad, shows up in the Facebook ad, and is front and center on the website when one arrives. That is a strategy. Now, there are a ton of companies out there right now that are getting into what my old owner used to refer to as one throat to choke. It is a vendor that would like to be every single tool to you, which means to me, in my experience, that they do not do anything great. They do a bunch of stuff well, and probably within that do some stuff poorly. And it's either going to be about data analytics tying, or it's going to be about attribution. My point to you is this. None of it matters if you don't have a strategy that you want to go to market with, okay? As a dealer, what is your message? Who are you? You guys are going to need to stop talking about price for two reasons. One, inventory is going to be down. Big Cat, what's up? And two, the biggest factor of it all is customers are carrying a lot less. Hot mic over there, my friend. And so when you have that going on, customers now are talking. I just sat down with a group of people the other day and I asked them, hey, if we could, if you were to buy a car and price A was higher than price B, but price A guaranteed you 30 minutes and guaranteed you hassle-free and in today's environment, sanitized, etc., what would you do? And I swear to you, almost everyone in the room that was listening, they replied back with, yes, I would pay more. And all of them in sort of car guy slang were like, oh, less than $1,000, I'm totally in. I thought, what are we doing? Why are we all racing to the bottom? Now, most of you know why that is. And those three letters that represent that know why that is. You know why you're guilty of it. But let's assume that we don't need the OEM to push our message. What if we just went after customers and made money selling cars? How about that principle? So you can do it, and you can do it with strategy. So remember, well-rounded strategy includes SEO. It includes paid search that looks well against it, but it isn't. Paid search is used when you have something to scream. If you don't, and by the way, a sale is not something to scream. It's stupid. Everyone has one. We're car dealers, okay? Not enough. I need something real to get paid search. From there, social. Social's got to be probably SEO, social, then paid search. That's probably how it should go. But then video needs to be sprinkled across all of it. Be smart, take your budget and divide appropriately. And remember, set baseline spends for everything and increase as needed. Start every budget lower than any fucking vendor tells you to. I don't care what their pitch is or why it is. Take their number and cut it in half and start with that. Build from the results. And one thing you can never get back is a refund check from vendors, okay? You can always give them more of your money. Take that, develop a strategy. If me or any of the people that I know can help you, you let me know. Otherwise, go out, sell cars, have fun, and we'll see you next Monday.